Hi Stampers, Jen Roque here at stampcampwithjen.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Summerfield, Florida. Today we are going to go over the second project in my Stamp Camp recap here for July 2020. So before we get started, I just want to do a quick reminder that bonus days is going on. It's almost over. As you can see here, August 3rd is the last day that you can earn bonus days coupons. So for every $50 you spend, you get a $5 bonus day coupon. And when you shop with me, you get a campfire badge, which helps you earn rewards towards getting a free $50 shopping spree. And you can read all about that if you search campfire rewards on my blog. Another example would be spending $100, you get $10 in bonus days coupons. That's $5 for every $50 increment, 2 campfire badges, and you would get my monthly free gift, which is these gorgeous gilded gems. They're so pretty. They would be great for Christmas projects like the one we're going to do today. So let's go ahead and when you shop with me, don't forget to use that host code so you can get that free gift. Okay. You have to spend at least $75, but anyway. All right. So let's move on to the project. We are going to do, isn't this fun? So this is that Brightly Gleaming DSP from last year is actually coming back in the mini catalog. And this is a corner pop-up gift card holder. Isn't that fun? You have your little sentiment here. You have your gift card in this little pocket. And then you even have a little piece. You could put another sentiment or write your message in for Christmas. It's just so beautiful. And honestly, this paper, it's got that copper foil in it. I can't tell you how beautiful it is. You really do have to see it in person to see how pretty it is. And this just kind of folds in. And this is I think this is 4x4 size card, but it fits, you just fit it in a regular envelope. Okay. All right, so let's get started. So if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, I'll have all the dimensions below. And if you're watching this on my blog, you can click on the PDF printable, and I have all of the dimensions and cut sizes for everything down there as well. All right, so first we're gonna cut down. I've already cut all this stuff, but I'm just gonna tell you what it is. So this is Mossy Meadow cardstock. You need 2 pieces that are 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Then this piece I used for our little pocket down here. We're gonna cut that at a diagonal later, but for now, just so I don't lose any pieces, I'm gonna keep it whole. This is also 3/4 and 3/4. And this piece, which is like a pretty peacock with the very vanilla vines on the inside over here, this is also 3/4 by 3/4. So you need those. We're gonna set those aside for right now. And then you need 3 more pieces. So this piece that goes on the inside flap here is 3.5 by 3.5, as well as the very vanilla insert that we did for our pocket message insert here. And then this piece is actually on the front, and these are all 3.5 by 3.5, okay? So I'm gonna set that aside and work on our base. So our base piece here is 8 by 8. You're gonna score like a plus sign basically. So at the 4-inch mark on both sides, you're gonna make a score line, and then you're gonna turn it over, and on one diagonal, you're gonna make another score line, okay? There's a little bit of ink here, but it's not gonna matter because we're gonna cover this panel up, so I'm not even worried about that right now. So go ahead and fold on your score lines. Use your bone folder to burnish those edges, make a nice stiff crease. Okay. And then we're gonna flip it over and fold in the opposite direction on our diagonal. Okay. Okay. So what will happen is you will get, it'll kind of fold in like this, and you're gonna put those corners up and you'll close it that way. So the top part, you can kind of see, so these corners that folded together, all these openings, this side is the bottom, okay? And then the top piece, like this, That's the top half, okay? And we're just gonna reinforce with our bone folder again, just again, making those strong creases, make sure everything folds really nicely. I actually did this backwards, so that ink is on the back side here. The ink is on the back side, so that's okay. I'm not giving this to anybody, and if I do, I'll cover it up. So this is just my example, but okay. So I just want to show you. So again, these little points that come up, these are going to be on the bottom right, and then the top are going to be these folded over pieces with the little flap in the middle. So that's the top, this is the bottom. Okay, so for our front, we're going to take the Mossy Meadow piece and the ornament piece, and we are going to use our seal to decorate. There we go. Okay, and then again, we're going to use the seal after we had adhered it together. And we're going to put this on the front and just center it so you have a little bit of a border, okay? Okay, so that's it for that for right now. We'll do the decoration of the front later. Okay, so on the inside, like with our card here, so this is that pretty peacock piece that we have with the vines. So that's gonna go here. So we're gonna adhere that first. See, even that side's so pretty with that copper foil. You really don't have to use the colors that I chose. You could, you know, mix it up. I just kind of played around with it and decided, oh, I like the way this one looks or that one looks. So it really is up to you, but I think it's so pretty and it really matches really well. Okay, so now for this panel, we have the foil vines over the Mossy Meadows. So let's adhere those together. This really comes together really quickly. I found the part that takes the longest is the cutting, and even then that doesn't take very long. So this comes together really fast, which is really nice. Okay, so now for this panel, we only want to apply, we're going to use tear and tape right here, and we're only going to do it on this top corner. And you'll see we do that because when you go to flip it, you need this to be able to fold into itself. So you only want to do this top corner with tear and tape. And also, if you want to double check that you have it in the right position, when you fold, see, this is the front, and you fold it over on the back, this will look like it's sideways, and that's how it should look if you have the front decorated the correct way, okay? So just if you need to double check, like maybe you start doing something and somebody calls you out of the room and you go, oh shoot, I forgot, you know, where I was, and I want to make sure I have it in the right direction. I don't have to start all over again and scrap it. That's all you got to do is flip over that panel and double check. Okay, so I like to use my bone folder and press it, make sure it's evenly on the paper. You can take your nails, or if you have a take your pick tool, we use that a lot in Stamp Camp and use that little spatula piece to pull off these pieces as well. So I know sometimes you cut your nails or you have that beautiful acrylic or gel manicure and you can't really grab anything. So it's a little difficult. Okay, so now we're gonna take this. Oh, and I should have mentioned, I did it, but when you put your tear and tape, you don't want it to go all the way to the edges. Like you can kind of see, I left like a little bit of a border. You don't want to butt it all the way up against the edge or the score lines. You want to have a little bit of a border because you're going to have a border around this piece when you glue it on here, or when you adhere it. And you don't want that tear and tape sticking out. Okay, perfect. So now let's see. Okay, so now what we need to do is we're gonna adhere this piece down to make our pocket. So what we need to do first is fold this over, and we're gonna put tear and tape in this triangle. And just like we did on the last one, you wanna leave a little bit of a border. Actually, this one doesn't matter as much because you're just gluing it to itself, but I just usually leave a border out of habit. Okay, again, take your bone folder. I always do this just to press it down, make sure it's really secure on that paper. Actually, I'm going to show you how handy this. Let's take your pick tool. You just take the little spatula. This is great, like I said, if you don't have any long nails, and you just kind of push it under the tape and pull it up. It makes it so much quicker. Okay, so now you take this triangle is going to adhere to that triangle. So that's what you're doing right there, okay? So now you have this little flap that you need to take care of. So we are going to take our silicone mat. This thing is great. We're going to put our card right on top of it, and we're going to take our tear and tape. You're going to lift this little triangle up, and what you're going to do is you're going to have the tear and tape go up just about halfway from the bottom. And you don't want to go all the way to the edge, just leave a little bit there, okay? So the great thing about this silicone mat is nothing sticks to it. See, I can pull it up, and then we're gonna take the tear and tape off, okay? And what we're gonna do with this little piece is just we're gonna roll it right back up onto itself. And what that does is that just makes your pocket a little deeper for your message. And you just press that down, and now you have your pocket. Okay, so now we can take this piece and get our paper trimmer out. And we can line it up on our paper trimmer, diagonal to diagonal in the track. And voila. Did I cut that right? Yeah. Doesn't really matter. As long as you cut on one of the diagonals, it will line up. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on our pocket. Again, very quick card. The most, well, I'm gonna use this actually for my diagonals. So this Stamp and Seal, I know a lot of people are having difficulty using it. They get really frustrated because sometimes it doesn't come out right away. But honestly, all you have to do is you just make sure that the adhesive is up on this little roller. So sometimes you have to use your finger to pull it up. And honestly, once you do that, it comes out just fine. See, a little bit of a border. And you can actually, you can do it with your finger, or if you have one of these silicone craft sheets, you can rub it, roll it against the craft sheet and it will pull it up. Or if you already have adhesive down on your paper, you can pull it up as well. And then the important thing with this too is making sure that you don't flick it to the side, because that will cause the tape to come off the Stamp and Seal and tangle. You really just need to point it upward and pull straight up, and that will end the seal. Okay, so now we have our pocket. So for the inside, I went ahead and stamped and die cut this already, so you didn't have to sit here and watch me do it. But our sentiment is from the Perfectly Plaid stamp set, which is in your annual catalog on page 60. This is from last year as well. I love it. We are going to use this sentiment right here at the top. I stamped it in Pretty Peacock on very vanilla cardstock. And then I used my stitched rectangle dies, and I used the second biggest one to die cut this piece out right here, okay? And if you're looking at my blog post, I have all of the products that we used. I labeled them by page number in each of the catalogs, so that'll help you a little bit when you're looking for the items in your catalogs. So we're going to use some dimensionals on the back here. I just thought it would be fun to kind of pop this up on the inside. Okay, so I just put this right in the center. Okay, and we are going to take our very vanilla, like I said, you could stamp something on here or just leave it blank and write your message. But that goes right in the pocket there. And then to close it, you just kind of lift it up a little bit and close. So now we need to decorate the front with my favorite bundle from the new mini catalog. This is gorgeous. So this is the Peace and Joy bundle. It is my absolute favorite. I got so excited when I saw this in the catalog. I knew I had to have it. I love all of the scripty words, and then the block lettering that you can kind of make your own message out of. And then these dies that come with it, they have a skinny, a medium, and like a really fat one that you can use. So the fat one, we're actually gonna cut out a piece of vellum, and then we're gonna use the medium one because we're gonna stamp our sentiment and not cut it out today. So we're gonna pull those two off. And then we're gonna take our joy, and we are going to stamp. We are using Pretty Peacock. This is one of my favorite colors. Excuse me. And we are going to stamp onto a scrap piece of very vanilla cardstock right here. Okay. Beautiful. I love how these stamp. And then what did I do for my front? We did To the World also. So we need to stamp that. On the bottom. Perfect. Okay. So now I can take the ink and put it away. So for the joy, we're gonna, well, first we're gonna cut this To the World out. We're gonna trim that with our paper snips. And that's what I love about this, because it's just a big block. All you have to do is you just kind of go, oops, go around the border here. And you could cut it right against the sentiment if you wanted to. I like to leave just a little bit of a border around it. I think it's real pretty. Just like that. Okay. So I'm gonna put that to the side. And then, so this is the trick with this one. So for this card, we're gonna use these adhesive sheets. Basically, it's like you're making a big sticker. So we're gonna take this joy and we're gonna put the adhesive sheet on the back here. Right on the back, okay? So on these sticker sheets, they have little lines where you can kind of pull the backing off. Now these are super, super sticky, so try not to handle them too much so that you don't mess up the stickiness on there. But so I'm just gonna put it right behind where the joy is, okay? And then I'm going to take this medium-sized die and we're gonna bring our die cutting machine over for just a minute. And we are gonna die cut our joy. Okay. So I have a magnetic platform on here. Now my magnets aren't working exactly like they should. Sometimes they kind of move around. So what I like to do, and you could do this if you don't have a magnetic plate, is I like to take some washi tape, and you just take a little piece of washi tape out and you rip it off, and once you get that die exactly where you want it to cut, you put the washi tape over it, and that secures it in place. Okay. Yep, I did roll it all the way through. I wasn't sure. Okay. You don't need to roll it through that many times. I just wasn't sure if I actually rolled it all the way through. All right, so now I take our washi tape off, and we can pop that out, and we have our joy cut out. So we'll put that to the side, and now we're gonna take our big fat outline, and we are going to die cut on our vellum. Now this doesn't have to be lined up any specific way, but like I said, because my magnet's kind of funky, I just want to secure it in place and make sure it doesn't like wobble off of the vellum. So I only have a partial die cut. I want a full die cut. Okay. So there's that. Sorry about that. I just dropped my plate on the floor. All right, so now we have this little background here. So what we're gonna do is we're going to remove this little sticker backing that we have on the joy. And I honestly haven't found a little helpful hint or shortcut as to removing that backing. My nail honestly is the best way to do it that I found so far. And we're just gonna stick this right on top of the vellum, so you have like this little background for the vellum. Now, to make it pop up, I actually initially, in my first class, I had them use these foam adhesive strips and just cut it down and adhere it all to the back of this joy. And then I was on Facebook later that day and saw this little trick from another demonstrator where she took you could take the smallest joy that we didn't end up die cutting, and we are going to die cut our foam, and it will fit perfectly behind our joy wording, so you won't see the foam, and it'll pop everything up. So now I have, oops, you gotta be really careful because these are really thin. You can see it's very, very thin. So these are double-sided, so you want to take one side off, and it looks like the sticky came off when I peeled it off of out of the sheet. So I need to get the sticky off of the other side. And these are very sticky, and actually you can leave the pieces inside the holes because that will just help reinforce the dimension. You don't have to remove them. I'm actually going to leave them in, I think, if I can get the sticky out. Oh, that one came out. That's okay. I might put it back in a second. But again, a very sticky process. You just gotta do your best. Okay. So now what we do is we flip this joy over, and we're just gonna line it up right behind where we stamped, if I can get it to cooperate. There we go. Oh, and so you do need to take the hole out of the J because it's got an opening. You don't want it to show through when you flip your vellum over and you'll see what I mean in a second. So like, I'm gonna move this. Okay. See? And now when you flip it over, you don't even see anything behind it. So we're just gonna center this in the middle. Okay, and then we are going to use some dimensionals for the back. I'm actually just using this border piece here, and it's perfect for the back of our To the World. See that? It's like the perfect width and everything. So what I will say though is if you do use the foam adhesive strips instead of dimensionals or the foam adhesive sheets, make sure that you use the foam adhesive strips on everything, because these are actually a little bit thicker than the dimensionals and the foam adhesive sheets, and the layers will be a little off. So, and there you have it. There's our Joy to the World corner pop-up card with our little insert. How cute is that, right? It was a little confusing when we did it in class. I had to make sure everybody did it at the same time so nobody would get lost. I hope this video has been really helpful to you and that you really enjoy it. Thanks so much for stopping by and joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you need any of the supplies for today's project, please purchase them in my online store. Again, I'm Jennifer Roque, and I'm located in Summerfield, Florida. If you're viewing this video on my blog, you can see the product showcase at the bottom of the page, and you can click on any of the products in the showcase to shop them in my online store. Don't forget to use this month's host code when you check out. Eligible orders will earn this month's free gift, those beautiful gilded gems, which will be perfect for Christmas. So make sure you shop with me and use that host code by July 31st so that you can get those. Also, don't forget about bonus days and how you can earn campfire badges when you shop with me as well. So thanks again for stopping by. I hope you'll like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.